everyone, and welcome to my craft room, take 2. I've already deleted the first attempt, but the sound wasn't working. So hopefully the sound is working this time. Yeah, okay, there you go. I've got sound. I can hear it on my own iPad. That's fine. So let's start again. Welcome back to my craft room. You guys may wonder why you're seeing so much of me lately, and it's because I'm on holidays. And thank you, Margie. Yes, I don't know what was happening there. I think I was covering over the sound button with my camera stand. Anyway, yes, so I'm on holidays. This is what I was saying before. I'm on holidays and I am at home. So I've been grabbing the opportunity to jump online and do some crafting with you all. I actually do head off on Sunday for a couple of weeks away from home, so I am taking advantage of grabbing you. So some people could hear me sometimes before and some couldn't. So anyway, so here we can all hear you, and that's great. So everyone can hear me now. Okay, so as I was saying before, I'm going to make 2 cards with you today. I'll just move this cord out of the way. 2 cards with you today. The first one being this beautiful little card with the Thoughtful Blooms set that is currently available in our Celebration promotion, and that's just I cased this one off the off Pinterest earlier today, but changed the colours and stuff. So I'll make this one with you. I think that's really lovely. And the other one I'm going to make uses the painted poppies, and I think this is pretty special too. I just love the cutout technique there that gives that emphasis to the centre of the card. So we'll make that one as well. But we'll start with this little Thoughtful Blooms one. They're both square cards, so the cards themselves are the same dimensions. It's actually, I'll just get rid of there, it's actually a 11 centimetres by 5.5, and I've scored it to make a 5.5 square card base, and then cutting down with my highlight colours, cutting down 1/4 of an inch and then 1/8 of an inch again. So all the dimensions are the same, it's just how we've stamped it and prepared it that's different. Okay, so as I say, what I've got here is my card base. I've also got a layer of Seaside Spray, which is a beautiful one of our new colours from our 2019-2021 in colour range. And I've got another layer of the Whisper White as well. And thankfully, you guys will be pleased to know I've already stamped and cut out a lot of the little flowers here. So the little flowers from the stamp set have been punched out, and they are stamped in Seaside Spray, and the little centre there is Blueberry Bushel. So I'll just stamp, I need 8 of those, and I've done 7, so just 2 so you can see the stamping. I'll just do 1 more. Just grab a scrap of Whisper White. Actually, I'll use the same one that I used before, not to waste it. Okay, so we've got the Seaside Spray, and my stamp. So just a matter of giving that a little bit of a ink up, popping it on the Whisper White cardstock. So that's that side, that's the Seaside Spray, and then the Blueberry Bushel here, and just that little star that goes in the middle. I've just got it blocked up on the back. Can't see it though, that's probably good here. And just the centre there, like that. So that's really all there is to these little flowers. And I'll just grab the punch. Now, as I mentioned yesterday, the punch and the Thoughtful Blooms stamp set are both free during Celebration with qualifying orders. The stamp set itself you can choose free with a $90 Australian dollar order, and the little punch, which is awesome, you can get with a $180 order. So you get both of them if you spent 270 Australian dollars. Okay, so there's my last little flower. So as I say, I need 8 of those little flowers punched out. But before we get to those, I'll take the top panel of Whisper White and we'll start with some stamping. So the first thing I suggest you do, and with the original card I've popped the congratulations stamp sentiment on it. So what I suggest you do first is grab that sentiment and stamp that first in the centre of your card, and then you'll know, you know how close or otherwise you can get with the flowers. So just get the little congratulations stamp with your black ink, your memento ink. Get it as central as you can. So I'm just lining it up on my grid paper. It's 13 centimetres, so halfway is about 6.5. And about halfway up and down as well. There we go. Gotta love grid paper. And stamp that down. Okay, so that's roughly as centre as you can get. Who else is on? May, I've seen Kay's here. Hey Kay, and Lisa. Lovely, thanks for joining me everyone. Okay, so we've got our sentiment in there. So what I'm going to bring in now is the leaves. So we're going to build up a structure around our sentiment, and we're going to use and this colour is Pear Pizzazz. So I'm going to get the leaves, they're sort of the sort of little 4 branches stamp, and pad that up. I've got to find my original card so I can do it roughly the same, though it's never the same. So in the Pear Pizzazz, and we're just going to work our way around our sentiment just to form sort of like a loose sort of wreath sort of shape. So sort of tuck your leaves around the wreath and don't go too far out to the edge if you can help it. Just sort of hug it. We've got that one there, and sort of rotate your stamp so that they all look slightly different. Just sort of hugging it around the edge, creating a sort of frame. Here. Double stamped there, well, that's all right. And the last one, just around here. You may have to double up a little bit to get that final one, just overlap a little bit, but that's fine because we're actually going to we can cover that with some flowers. Cool. Okay, so as you can see there, we've got a little frame of leaves and stems happening. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is bring in the little cute, hang on, I need my small stamp block. The little cute blossom, 5 petal blossom from the set. There we go, it's here somewhere. Here, oh, where is it? Oh, it's been put back on. Hang on, sorry, bear with me guys. Oh, I hate it when you... Ah! It's so little, how am I going to find it? Eek! Oh, hang on, no. Oh, Lord! Okay. Issue. Oh, there's a very, very, very tiny one there, which I may have to use in the meantime. I'm going to be so upset if I've lost that. Anyway, we'll search for it in a minute. Okay, so instead of the 5-leaf one, I'm going to use this tiny, tiny little one here, which isn't going to be quite as nice, I don't think. But anyway, it's not much we can do until I find that little stamp. And they're so tiny. Oh well, here we go. I'm sure it hasn't gone far. So I'm going to use a very, very tiny one instead. It's not really what I wanted to do, but anyway, that's okay. And I'm just going to take that and pop it around. And this is in, before I get totally distracted, this is in Highland Heather. So I'm just taking that around the edge. So I couldn't get away from the Highland Heather. I used a lot of it yesterday or the other day when I was using this stamp set. But it's such a lovely colour. I'm going to use it again. And I think it goes really well with the Seaside spray. So just around the edges, just where the little branches sort of terminate and asking for a flower. I think that's about it. One there. Okay, cool. Not really the one I wanted, but it'll do. Okay, so I'll pop that one back in before I lose it. Something else. Here we go. Cool. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, and we're practically finished, we're going to just bring in our little punched flowers. We're going to pop them equally all around the edge, just to form a bit of a circle around our sentiment, just like that. There we go. So I'll just bring in some glue and just pop a little dab of glue and the flower. And this one is just so quick and so easy, as you can see. There we go. Helps that I've cut out all those flowers first, but anyway. Yeah, and the last one. There we are. So that is so sweet. What I'm going to do is, and what I did with the other one is, I brought in, these are the gold glitter enamel dots. They're actually from the Christmas Time is Here bundle, which I think is still available, but you could use any of the rhinestones or enamel dots that you like, but I think this gold is just a bit special, and I had a lot of them left over, so I thought I'm going to use them on this card. So just a very, very tiny one there, and I'm going to pop that in the centre of each of those little flowers, just to give it a little bit of extra something. So let's go there. Oh, stuck to my finger, that one. Just there, just to give it a little bit of bling. Oh, come on you. And use your tool there, which is really one of the best things that I've used. It's very handy. This end not behaving itself at the minute, but it is one of the best tools to take your take your pick tool, and you can, as you know, swap in and out the various accessories that you want. Okay. These were being perfectly behaved earlier today, and now that I've lost my stamp and thrown myself off my stride, they've decided to stick everywhere except where they're supposed to. There we go. Come on you, one more. I want to stick to my finger more than anything else. Okay, so that there is starting to give a little bit of bling to our card, so you can see that, hopefully see those sparkling in the sun. I've got a little ribbon that I've pre-tied, and that's the beautiful seaside foam ribbon there that's in the annual catalogue. So I'm going to use a little glue dot just to attach that off to the side as well. I should probably attach it, sort of layer it up first, but anyway, just attach that off to the side. Yes, hopefully, Margie, yes, it doesn't look too, thankfully it doesn't look too bad. Though I will definitely have to rip this place apart to try and find that stamp, or else I'm going to have to go and order another one, aren't I? For one tiny little stamp. Okay, so let's finish that one up, we'll layer it up, and then we can get started with the other one, which thankfully I don't think I've lost anything from. Where's my glue? Okay, let's just grab some glue, and all I've done is just glue the layers together. So this one on top of the Seaside Spray. Here we go. Oh. Wiggle, wiggle, get it straight. There we go. And then the Seaside Spray onto our card base. And that's it. There. So that is card number 1 for today. So you can actually see it looks slightly different to the other one. I think because the flowers, the little tiny flowers, are smaller, and I've taken the blue flowers out a bit wider. So yeah, I'm not sure which one. I think I still like the original better. This one looks like it's yeah, it's ready for something else to happen to it. Maybe some more of the little flowers if I have to come back to it later. Cool, so that's card number 1. Hope you guys like that one and give it a go. Card number 2 is the one I'm really excited with because I love this painted poppy stamp set. I think it's just glorious, and I really enjoy, as I say, I really like this cutout effect that whenever I see it used, so I thought I'd give it a go here. Again, it's a square card. It's the same dimensions, 11 by 5.5, and it's scored at 5.5 for a 5.5 square card base. And again, this is real red. We have a layer of real red that's 1/4 inch smaller, and another layer of Whisper White, which is 1/8 inch smaller again. Okay, so the main emphasis of this one is obviously this beautiful line of poppies, and I'll just bring those in. So here we go. So I'll get rid of everything except for my Whisper White. So to make this a little bit easier, I've grabbed a pencil and a ruler, and I have drawn myself a bit of a line 2 inches, which is going to be 5 centimetres, up from the bottom, just to give myself a bit of a... ta-da! Look what I found on the back of my ruler. It's my stamp from there. Oh, thank heaven for that. I'll pop that away. Yay! I want to go back and do those flowers again. Anyway, okay, yay! All right, so I'm going to, yes, I definitely have to use a ruler, Margie. 2 inches up from the bottom, which is about there. And I will just do myself a little line, because you're going to cover it with ribbon anyway. Yes, thankfully I did that card as well, or else I would have lost it forever. Okay, so we're going to bring in our Painted Poppies stamp set, and here is the little row of poppies we're going to use. I'll pop that on a block. Okay, so with this one, I actually want this tall, if you see the stamp set, it's got a sort of a short bunch of poppies, and it's got a tall bunch of poppies. I actually want that tall bunch of poppies to be in the centre of my card there. So I'm going to, when I ink it up, I'm going to make sure I line that up with the centre of my card. So using my line as a guide, bear with me, you may have to see my head here. I'm going to put that tall one to, as you know, it doesn't have to be exactly the centre, but as close to the centre as I can, and use my line as a guide, and there we go. And then I'll fill in the gaps with the others. So I'm going to bring these ones, and you'll see my head again, apologies. Bring those off to the edge there, and the other end there. And try not to overlap them obviously too much, so it looks like a continuous line. So that is our line of poppies, and as I say, as long as you're sort of roughly in line, because we are going to pop a ribbon across that central part. So there we are, we have our line of poppies there. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is grab this is one of the circles from the layered circles. It's probably, I don't know which one it is, but it's about 5.5 centimetres in diameter, and I'm going to cut out, which is the whole idea of this card, I'm going to cut out that central circle there. So roughly around, starting roughly where our line is, I'm going to cut that out. So just bear with me. I won't bring the big shot in because everything wobbles enough as it is. So I will just cut this. There we go. Okay, so we've got that cut out there like that, and it makes a big hole in our card. Now, when I was making the first card, I wondered whether it was a bit worth trying something a little bit different, which I'm going to in this one just because I can. I've got my Real Red ink, and in the stamp set there is a sort of a misty spray sort of splodge. So what I thought I might do, and I don't know how this is going to turn out, this is just me thinking out loud, I'm going to actually sort of colour the back ones, the back flowers, just getting rid of the stamps off my previous one. I'm going to colour them with this splodge, just the background. So that's why I'm going to do it after I've cut it out, because I don't want it on this central one. So let's just see. So this may turn out absolutely horrible, but anyway, it's all experimenting. So I'm just going to, overlapping where the flowers are, just pop some red. I do love that. I think it's really, really nice. And it sort of follows the line. It's got, you can see here, it's got a sort of a peak there, which follows the peak of the flowers. So let's just do that. Okay, a little bit more over here. Okay, right, so experiment begun. Hey Marilyn, thanks for joining me. Now I see Kayla there as well. Hey Kayla. Okay, so experiment begun. So what I've got also is I have, in Real Red, I have cut the corresponding scalloped circle that goes with the circle that I used for my insert my outtake, and I'm going to back that on that. So that's going to go like that. Plus, what else did I need? My ribbon. Where's my ribbon? Here. So I might as well at this stage put the ribbon on there. And to do that, I'm going to use double-sided tape on the back. Just a bit of double-sided tear and tape on the back of your Whisper White panel, so roughly in line where you've put your pencil mark. There we go. Unless it sticks to your finger, in which case you've got a terrible mess. There we go. And we put our ribbon on. Now I'll line this up with my grid paper again, so I've got my ribbon the same distance. Don't press down too hard or your tear and tape will stick to your grid paper. So just lining that up with the grid. She says, pressing down too hard, I can feel it on that side. So and just fold that under there. And then bring it back and line it up. And under. Okay, so we've got a little bit of ribbon there. And then I might actually do my sentiment now, just before I go any further. I'll do the sentiment. So as I think I've mentioned before, this piece of painted poppies doesn't actually have sentiments with it. So, which is good because you can bring in your favourite sentiments from other stamp sets. And this time I'm using the Thank You from the Bottom of My Heart, which comes from the Bloom and Grow, which is in the annual catalogue. So it's got some really nice large, and I wanted a large sentiment as well, and I can always use thank you cards. So I'm using the thank you card from there, the thank you sentiment. Sort of centre that and line it up with your cutout, and So that's quite nice, I like that. Then what we can do is start layering up our card. I'm going to pop the cutouts that we've done onto our scalloped circle. Just like that. Just centre that and hold it in place for a second. Oh, I forgot the most important bit. I'm going to highlight one of our poppies by actually colouring it in with a real red blend. That was the cleverest part of the card. How can I forget that? So I just have to pick, it doesn't have to be the exact poppy, we just want to pick a poppy that's nice and round and large-ish. So what I thought I might use is, I used this one last time. I thought I might use, which one? I might use this one here. It's a nice big large poppy. I'm just going to colour that in with my blend, and then I'm going to fussy cut it. The advantage of this one is that it's got nice smooth lines for fussy cutting. Okay, so I'm just going to fussy cut him out. Margie, you still on, Margie? Do you remember those girls in the lift on stage? When, was it Cheryl? We were in the lift with her and there were some young girls in there and she started talking about fussy cutting. And the young girls obviously must have been the only people in the hotel that weren't going to on stage, and they had no idea what we were talking about. I still think about that and giggle. That was so funny. On stage was so much fun. If anyone's watching and they ever get a chance to come along to a Stamping Up event, it's just a lot of fun. Well, it did need to be explained to them, didn't it, Margie? Because I think they were just there having a girls' weekend. I don't think they expected to be swamped by middle-aged women talking about fussy cutting. Oh gosh, oh that was fun. Anyway, all right. Made myself laugh now. So what I'm going to do is grab a small dimensional, a mini dimensional, and I'm going to pop that on the back of that little cutout before I lose it. Seems to be a day for losing things. And I'm going to pop that over the top. So just picking one of these main poppies. Doesn't have to be the same one that you've fussy cut it out, as long as you can actually cover it over. Cover it over completely so it looks like it's meant to be there. I think I'll use that one. There we go. So it just gives a bit of a highlight of one of those flowers. Okay, so I think now I can layer up. Layering up makes me sound like some sort of chef. Or is that plating up? Now I can plate up. Here we go. I thought I'd lost those now. Okay, so we're just going to pop our real red layer on top of our card base. Just like that. And as I said, we've got a slightly larger border than I usually leave. That's 1/4 of an inch or 1/2 centimetre all the way around there. Then we're going to bring in this layer with the hole in it. I'm going to use double-sided tape there because I've already got double-sided tape on it. So I'll bring in my tear and tape and I'll layer up. And that helps secure our ribbon as well, which is good. Don't want floppy ribbon. Oh, hi Kay, I'm glad you've learnt lots today. You've learned how messy I can be when I'm in a rush. And what else? Not everyone in the world knows what fussy cutting is. Although they should. There we go. I need to make sure I opened it up the right way. So we'll just chuck this layer, or put this layer on here. I'm going to ask you all a question in a minute as to which of the two cards you prefer. The one that I've put the splodges on, or the one that I've left plain. I'm going to use some large dimensionals here, just for the red circle. There we are. So pop this on, line it up with your the other stems that are around it as much as you can, and cover over the gap with the slightly larger, scalloped circle, so you can't see the hole. Okay, so that's there. We'll pop the ribbon underneath if it's over. Okay, so we've got that there, and I have pre-tied another ribbon, they say, moaning with relief because we've all watched Julianne fight ribbons. And pop that on as well. Now I find, Kayla's just said she never makes square cards. I find that I do them, I'll do a lot of them and then I'll forget about them and go back to normal size. But there's something special about them, I think. Just something a bit different. Oop, she says, ruining that ribbon. So I'll pop that ribbon on there. And what I actually might do is tuck a glue dot up under there to stop that wobbling around as well. So just bear with me. I'm going to find a glue dot and pop it in up under there. Just pop it up under the ribbon and keep it in place just like that. Okay, so that's that one done as well. It's really quite simple, but it's really really effective, I think. So the question being, do we like the one with the real red splodges in the background behind the background ones, or do we like the plain one more? I'll wait for a few minutes for the answer. I think I'm actually leaning towards the splodges. That's the card making term for splodges. So I think I'm actually leaning towards this one. Yeah, I like the splodges too, Kayla. Anyway, so that's the second card for today. And that's all I'm going to... Oh, Margie likes the plain. That's one vote each. And Kay as well. We may be outnumbered, Kayla. Okay, so that's really all I wanted to show you guys today. As I say, I'm off the air for probably a fortnight from Sunday, so I will miss you all. I will try and console myself with my holiday. I'm going to go back and do the big flowers on that one because it's just going to annoy me. I hope you like these cards. As I say, the Thoughtful Blooms stamp set and punch is from the Celebration catalogue, so they are free rewards when you have put a qualifying order in, and the Painted Poppies is from the annual catalogue, from the mini catalogue, the 2020 mini catalogue, which we all used to call the Occasions catalogue. If you don't have a demonstrator and would like to talk to me about purchasing product or joining my team, please do so. Just send me a message on my business page and I will get back to you. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me, and I will see you in about a fortnight. I'll still be watching my Facebook, so please keep liking my posts and chatting to each other. That's great, but I won't be doing a live video till I get back in early February. So thanks very much, and I will talk to you all soon. Okay, bye.